Delight to be with you all this evening. This is Lidy Flom. I am here stepping in for Dr. Jerry this evening. I'm not able to fill his shoes. I just want you to know that I am here just to maybe just share some insight with you. And as we come to this call, I always think about like the privilege that it is to be able to share some information, and that we're standing in a place where there's a market disruptor. We are here, I'm going to say, as a category creator. We're looking at what is called Coriolus Versicolor. I know that even that word for a lot of people is like, that is a tough word to say. So Cori, Coriolus, Coriolus Versicolor means a variety. Versicolor, Coriolus Versicolor is actually another name for turkey tail. But it is not just another story about a turkey tail. It is actually the one and only over 200 different varieties of turkey tail. The over 200 different varieties of turkey tail that had been studied, they found that there was what is called a very high PSP and a PSK, polysaccharide peptide, and a polysaccharide crestin, which actually is critical when it comes to adipose tissue, when it's critical, when it is to support the body and the body's ability to, I say, haul the waste away. And I like to call it that because of the fact that when we have abnormal cells, we have abnormal cell replication. We know that we have challenges that are in the body that the body has to constantly sort and abort. And that doesn't always happen that way. So how is it that, I think that we're living in a time where that we're very consciously aware of the fact that we have a constant invasion. We have some enemies in the camp. And what I like to say is that where's the enemy in the camp? And how did they get there? Well, Dr. Hulda Clark says it could happen even in utero. So we do have what we know is some inherited possibilities of hookworm and roundworm can cross the placenta. If that can cross the placenta, we have a new epiphany like, you mean to tell me that I was born with a challenge? You might say, yes. And why are we having so many younger and younger challenges with people with some called, aged adult kind of diseases, right? So Dr. Hulda Clark wrote a book, and she says that there is what is called a cure for all diseases. And she talked about the cure for all diseases because of the fact that you have to understand that if you can get to the core, you can restore. If you can get to the core, that means that we have to get to the core of the issue. What's the underlying cause here? So a challenge when it comes to disease is a dis-ease and then a compilation of dis-ease on top of dis-ease on top of dis-ease. Well, your body has what is called detoxifying methods. It has the ability to pull the garbage out, filter. So you have a filtering system. Your kidneys, your liver, your spleen are your detoxifying organs, and they're constantly, hauling the garbage away. But sometimes the blood gets thick, and if it's thick, it's ick, and if it's ick, it's sick. So what do you go and get? What is called, some alternative support, and typically they give you what is called blood thinners, or you might take I call it another Band-Aid approach. And the Band-Aid approach is that the Band-Aid approach definitely is here to put the so-called mask the problem. If we mask the problem, here's what we do know. Today, you mask the problem. Tomorrow, you have more of what yesterday was. So I am not really gaining ground. I'm losing ground. I'm losing the possibility to thrive and I start going into this place of just survive. And we then have not just one Band-Aid, we put another medication on top of another medication. It might be an aspirin, it might be some antihistamines, it might be just some simple things to alleviate, but your body is telling you. So imagine for a moment, if you had a GPS inside of your body, what would your body be telling you? Do you have a direct access to get from that's called position A to position B or Z? How does your body function? So it has all these different methods of communication, but sometimes we have a roadblock, and the roadblock could be that the pain starts to show up. Now, I don't know if you know this, but did you know that pain means inflammation? Oh, so pain means inflammation, and inflammation just means pain? Well, then how do I take the inflammation away so I can get rid of the pain? And that means what's at the core of the inflammation? It's the area where your body is starting to break down. And there's waste in the way. Waste is in the way. So your immune system has to go to work. And your body knows exactly. It has phagocytes. It actually goes and tries to trap it and encapsulate it to the point in which it can send the fighter T cells and B cells to the area to blow that so-called invader apart. And when it gets to that point, here's what you know. The body's like, I'm exhausted. I can't keep up. It's a constant invasion. So your body, let's call it, starts to look like a zombie world. It's tired and exhausted. And you're trying to figure out how to mentally have communication. And some people say, you know what? I'm kind of brain fogged. I feel like I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough inertia. And the question is, what is your body telling you? So your body's just saying, I'm trying to haul out the waste, and the waste is in the way. Well, I love the rest of this story because when I was working with a lot of these so-called serious challenges, when Dr. Jerry came into my life, I was able to ask Dr. Jerry a lot of questions because he went to India to study. He went to study traditional Chinese medicine. He's a chiropractor. And so when you understand the body from all these different levels of communication and the body composition and your muscle, neurological, all of these factors that come into factoring in. And if we had this GPS inside of us, it sometimes says, I've got a roadblock. Detour, recalculating, detour, and constantly the body is trying to figure it out. Your body is genius. You were born genius. Your body knows exactly what to do, when to do it, where to do it, how to do it 24/7. The question is, how do you come alongside this body and get the job done? Well, I have to tell you, I love the story. How do you really help people do the simple? I say the minimum to get the maximum. I like to think that way because I used to write a lot of protocol when it comes to their diet. These are your yes, these are your no's. And all these weight loss programs, I want to tell you, it's not weight loss because weight is muscle, it's dense. It's actually the waste, WASTE. If you get your head around this conversation about the waste loss and you are able to haul the waste out of the way, and I have to say, the waste is your roadblock. And it is either in your joints, it's in your blood, it's somewhere blocking some conversation communication. And if that avenue, that proper channel could be opened, you win and you start to thrive. And you're going to hear some stories tonight about what it was for people to be able to get to that point and just adding what is called Coriolus Versicolor. Coriolus Versicolor is I'm going to say a hidden treasure. It's a hidden treasure that was discovered 23 years ago. And the 23 years ago, this hidden treasure was found as they were doing research on PSP and PSK, polysaccharide peptides and polysaccharide crestin, trying to figure out how to help people that are in the deeper challenge of abnormal cell replication. And subsequently, 3 guys were actually barbecuing, and they were talking about their pets. And as a result of talking about their pets, one had come to the event and said, I had to put my pet down. And they all started chatting about the fact that, you know what, we've all had to put our pets down before their full life expectancy. And so in this half life, these pets are being put down. What if we became a voice for the voiceless? I love that thought. Actually, I think that children are the voiceless as well. And so, we as parents, so people love, people love people and people love pets, right? So, and how can we really help them? Well, that was their mission. Meanwhile, Simon Liu, his mother had a relapse of her uh, cancer but a different location, and ended up being in her lungs. And so he made a call out to his relatives in Japan. This was his relative that was a physician, and he asked them what he could do. And he said, "Well, we got it. We got this." He said, "Well, capsulate, and then what we'll do is we'll send it off, and subsequently you can give it to your mom." And so she ends up months later going to her oncologist at the Sloan Kettering Institute, Cancer Institute, very highly top rated cancer institute. And guess what? They said, "What have you done? You don't have any cancer. I mean, you're cancer free." And they asked her what she did. And she says, "Well, took some Coriolus Versicolor." Now I want you to hear this next part. When they heard that, they'd never heard that before. So guess what they said? "Well, we'd like to look at that." And this is how all of those 400 studies started to happen. Kicker in the conversation is independent. Independent studies that were done. Do you know what that really means? They didn't pay for the studies. They didn't pay for the studies. These institutes are trying to figure out why all these people are walking away with a clean bill of health. I mean, one guy ate his dog food. And he said, "Yeah, I ate my dog food. Good enough for my dog. Good enough for me." And on and on. But what's in your dog food, right? Coriolus Versicolor. This common thread conversation. And so 23 years later, we have over 400 different clinical studies that are independent, and they all have the same conclusion. PSP and PSK, the highest they've ever seen, and it was the extraction at the mycelium stage. You know what that means? It's before it pierces through the surface to actually become a full, bloom of a mushroom. It is here. And when it's under the surface, it is a different type of level of polysaccharide peptide, and they're able to create what is called a proprietary process to extract, and subsequently capsulated that. And that's what we're talking about today. This is why all these people are having these amazing stories. My phone is ringing from morning till night. Honestly, people are texting, people are calling. I've got another friend. Can you help my friend? Can you help my relative? Can you help this one? And people, and then they say their dogs. Their dogs have tumors. They got esophageal, challenges. They can't swallow. And all these stories are like repeat. And so now I wanted to show you something that I think is quite extraordinary. This tiny little capsule, there it is. This tiny little capsule actually is the Coriolus Versicolor. And I cannot ever get this in the screen properly. Here we go. Coriolus Versicolor. And this is the green label. I say, think of high five. I've got a thumb, green label, go to always your green label, Coriolus Versicolor. Now it's a capsule and it can pull apart. Okay, you can pull apart and you can actually put this in a little, and I just open it up, put it in the cap, and it's just powder. You want to taste it, you can taste it. And I like to say this, sprinkle it on your food, sprinkle it in your soup, sprinkle it in your coffee, but you want to have the right kind of coffee because they have what is called coffee that is mold-free. Mold-free coffee with the Coriolus Versicolor in it. Now, if you have pets, you can sprinkle this right now on that pet food. And you can have your pets. Now, that one capsule is equivalent to 50 pounds of body weight. If you want to maintain your body's composition, maintain your body's ability to function at its peak optimum, that's the rule of thumb. And or you can actually take this and you can double it up or triple it up if you have some health challenges. This is everything. This is gold. It is kind of golden, but I treasure it like it's gold because of the fact that it has all of these beautiful God-given, I'm going to say, properties to heal. So properties, and what we do not talk about curing, treating, diagnosing, anything. And what we like to do is help people understand that your body is knowing. Your body has the number one doctor in the house. And you give your body immune system the ability to immune modulate. That means course correct. If your body is able to course correct and have immune modulation, then you win. It's that easy. You mean to tell me this is going to help me course correct? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about your body's ability to do what it needs to do 24/7. I don't really even know what my body's doing. Personally, I can tell you when I feel like if I'm bloated or I feel puffy or I feel pain, but I can tell you that nobody else even knows for the most part. And furthermore, um, my body's asking for something. If I had a dashboard, it would probably say, a little water, a little bit more water. Hey, how about some brain food? Hey, how about some, somebody to haul this garbage out? And I would tell you, at the age of 26, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and I was not happy. And because I had a complete pain body, I was given a diagnosis with, they told me I'd be in a wheelchair by 36. I had rheumatoid and osteoarthritis, and that I would be crippled. And I was on a very fast pace. But I do remember that when I was born breech. My first beverage I got was sugar water. It kept all of the gut perforations in the gut wall open. And subsequently, I had a systemic issue going on uh, since I was born. And could it been in utero? I could have even had some parasites past the placenta. And so I could have something inherited. But I want you to know I can't curse the past. I can only take control of this destiny in this now to the next now to the next now. And that's what I love about Coriolus Versicolor. Now we have 4 other products, but I do want to say this. This is testimonial night, and I would like to have Daryl. Daryl, if you would unmute, and Elle, if you would unmute your phone. And we've got some amazing people that are farmers. I see that we've got a lot of people on the call, and I don't see them. Hernan, I don't know if you can unmute anybody. If it is that you see anybody on the call that Daryl or Al on the call. And
I don't see Daryl.
okay.
Al?
Al, are you there?
What's
Okay.
Al's? I don't see Al either.
All right. Well, then maybe I'm just going to ask maybe Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson, if you have a testimonial, I'm going to go see if I can find Al right now. And
John Wilson's on.
John Wilson, if you got a testimonial, if you would be willing to share, and I know we've got Roberta Clark, we've got several people, or Dick Matrician, if you've got a testimonial, we've got a lot of people on the call. that I know have some stories. And if anybody would be willing to open up and just maybe share a thought or two, or anybody I have not spoken and called out, I know that we've got a lot of beautiful people on this call this evening. So anybody would like to step up while I go and find my buddy, Al Peters. I'm going to call him right now.
Yep. I can share real quick. So I started taking the product on January 14th, and I've been taking a loading dose the whole time. I did kind of back down a little bit to 3, but for the most part, I've been taking 5 in the morning and 5 at night. And I can tell you that I feel like I'm 10 years younger. It's hard to explain, but there's a lot of things that have changed for me. Big things that I was worried about. So, yeah, in fact, I had a friend that I had been talking to for a couple weeks about what we're doing with this product and how it's helping people. And he is very analytical, and he had a lot of questions, and I had to send him a lot of information. And finally, one of the last phone calls I had with him, I said, look, I said, no more questions. I said, buy a bottle and take a loading dose. You'll know in a week. You'll know in a week if you like it or you don't like it. Just take it. And he did. He got a bottle, and now he's on his 4th bottle. So, so that's a good thing. But yeah, just that's what I suggest to people. Just get it and take a loading dose and see how you feel. Anyways.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Hernan. And Hernan, I know you have a great prostate story as well, but I happen to have picked up Al. He's still chopping. Hey, you know, when these farmers are working, it's like, you know, they got to beat the rain. So, Al, can you speak just to make sure we can hear you?
Yep, I can hear you guys.
Can you hear? Did you hear him? Yep, loud and clear. So,
Everybody
Al,
hears us. Okay.
Go ahead. Tell your story. Tell them a little bit about your background, if you would. And if you could do that for us this evening, we got a loaded call. Go ahead.
All right. So, Al Peters, Lake City, Minnesota, 62. I had heart surgery at 36, and I've had 12 years of leukemia. And we started these pills 8 weeks ago, and huge improvements after the 3rd week. Then she really started to shine. The latest one was, since I was a kid, my gums would bleed, and that was 50 years ago. And now my gums are stopped bleeding for some reason. And I guess there's probably only one reason why they're stopped bleeding, because I've been taking them pills. And I'm really blessed by that, because it's very irritating, you know, when you brush your teeth and you're spitting blood all the time, you know. But even like my gums feel different. They feel tighter, you know. So they must have cleansed them out and got all the bacteria out and gingivitis and all that good stuff. But that's the latest one I've had. My eyesight is a lot better. I had a 1.3 cheater glasses, but I don't even need them no more. I can see so much better. No aches and pains in the legs. I can get my leg up so high, and I can run. I run like a kid. I actually beat a kid, just to make an example. And
Al, tell that story. Tell them what you did.
So we do custom chopping, and we have a high school kid that helps. And he goes, "I'll race you to the barn, the dairy barn, 300 feet. I'll race you, old man." Well, I beat him. He didn't make it. So I've never been so much flexible. No pain, you know. I just want to run.
So Al, you're 62 and he's
Yes.
18.
Yes.
And you?
I can outrun him.
Nice. So
yeah,
compared to before taking the Coriolus Versicolor, what was that like?
So before I started taking them, that was 8 weeks ago, and my cancer came back, and the doctor wanted to do chemo, and I said no. And then right after that, we started these pills, and within 10 days, it all changed.
Wow.
Really started feeling different, and I mean, now we're week 8, and it just keeps improving all the time. You know,
So
you'll come across little things like this. You know, I brushed my teeth the other night, Sunday night. I was like, God, I ain't got no blood. That's funny. And then the next night, well, what the heck, you know? So, I mean, it's a blessing. It really is.
so say something about your waist.
So I'll probably drop 20 pounds of weight. And
Waist. 20 pounds
20
of waist.
Probably 20 pounds of waist. Yes, yes. And then let's talk about the pills. So I was taking 5 pills for my heart because I had 3 stents put in when I was 36, and now I'm down to 2. I got rid of my protonics for acid reflux, and then I got rid of 2 other ones. And my goal is by the 4th of July to be on no pills at all. That's my goal, my personal goal. So
Beautiful.
it's a good product. The whole world needs to know about it.
Mm-hmm. So
And we're all blessed.
absolutely, Al. Al, I know that you shared some of these stories with me, so I like to actually extend that conversation with everybody on the call tonight. But one of the things you said when you went to see your doctor.
Yeah, I went to, so I go to the chiropractor once in a while, kind of keep my neck straightened out because I'm always looking out the window, and they just all stood there and said, geez, what happened to you? And it even happened today at this farm we're chopping at tonight here. You couldn't believe how much different I look from February to now. And I mean, I do. My skin shines and glows. I got my smile back. I mean, there's nothing wrong with feeling good. I'll tell you that. You know.
I love that. So might you share one more story? So I was hearing something about a neighbor. Daryl was saying something. Was there a neighbor?
I don't know. I talked to so many people. I was at Daryl Lumen's this morning.
Okay. Well, not everybody knows who Daryl is on the call, but if you could share with them who he is and how you were introduced, would you be so kind?
Well, he's one of my clients that we chop for dairy farms. And Daryl is, am I saying this right? Is he 76?
Mm-hmm.
And he has cancer too. And we both talked together. We both got on at the same time. And I was there this morning, and I haven't seen him for, probably since we started. And he looks different. He looks really different. His waist is gone, and his belly, like mine. And he said he feels really good. And like his improvements are gaining every day too, you know? So that's very amazing that you can improve an older person at that age, you know?
Beautiful.
We all know if you fall down when you're 20, you'll get right back up. When you fall down at 70, you're gonna lay there for a whole while, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
so I know that he's got some amazing testimonials as well. And
yes.
we're going to let him maybe share that. But I will ask you this question. When you're taking the product, can you speak to everybody? They always like to know, well, how much are you taking? How are you taking it? Can you speak to that?
Okay, so the green bottle is, what's the word on the green bottle?
Coriolus Versicolor, the InForce.
Yep, I take 14 of them. And then the other ones I take 2, 2, 2, 2. The other 4 bottles.
And anything else you'd like to share?
Well,
your sleep, your elimination.
Focus.
Focus.
The focus is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can, I guess me and Lily talked about the brain fog, and I'm a firm believer of I had brain fog because I'm so focused. It's kind of crazy, kind of scary in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping habit, sleeping habit didn't really change much. I'm awake early. I've always been awake early. But when I sleep, I think I sleep sounder. You know?
Absolutely.
I don't have night sweats no more.
Big.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people have, they eat a meal at night and go to bed, and then you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning sweaty. I don't have that no more, but I kind of limit my eating at nighttime too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't
Beautiful.
know.
Beautiful. Well, actually, Al, I have to say that I'm believing that you've inspired a lot of people because of the fact that when you know that there isn't anything you cannot overdose when it comes to the Coriolus Versicolor, that
Right.
your body will go to work, and your body went to work. And that, when you understand that when it's 1 capsule per every 50 pounds of body weight, as a rule of thumb, that's given a suggestion. But if your body already actually needs support, it's sort of like swimming upstream. How is it that you can swim upstream and win your battle? That's the question. And I often thought about, like, being in Alaska, watching salmon spawning when they just move forward, kind of like up the river. The eagles and the bears are there to take over, and they have lunch. And I think often I kind of have related it to looking at the body the same way. So
Right.
14, 7 and 7, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. The question was, you take them all at once or separate. And you're taking it twice a day because you have 2 circadian rhythms. You have an assimilation and an elimination cycle. So you're taking it 7 and 7. Is that correct?
Yep. I do two times a day, morning and night.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah. And I think that that's great. As a suggestion, if you're trying to take a look at that, I had a conversation with Gino Ferrari one day and asked him, what was the maximum amount that he's ever heard anybody take. And he said, in some situations, I've had a few that have taken 20 a day. So as just some thoughts between 18 and 20, depends upon what you're dealing with. Is it forever? No. Is it to get kind of like to the point? When salmon spawn, guess what they do? They leap forward. When they're leaping forward, they're gaining ground. This is a leap forward conversation. What, Al, you just spoke about is your body has lots of victories that are going on. And I just love the fact that you're paying attention to the finer details.
Right.
And
I had stage 4 cancer, leukemia, 12 years ago. And the pills I took from the doctor, were like started out at $12,000, got to $19,000 a month. And now here we are 12 years later and got it back. So it didn't really do the job, did it? It just put a Band-Aid on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Where this product is totally different than that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going to wipe it out. Game over,
Mm-hmm. When we start taking a look at what 19 capsules was, and one woman took 19 capsules in a day, and she ends up with having her stigmatism that she's had for years in her life, and that disappears in a matter of, I'd say, hours, days, weeks, months, any of this. If you just have that calculation, you say that's $12.35 a day. And the best part of the story is that it's 400 independent studies, and they all had the same conclusion. Here's the best part of the story. That's not in the cost of the product. Every single company, and there are companies that are coming out with some amazing things, but I will tell you, you're not looking at, there are companies that come out with 30 capsules in a bottle instead of 60. This one's 60 capsules in a bottle for $38.99. You can become a customer and get a free account and have this product come to you. You can become an influencer if you want to be a voice for the company and get paid, and then get paid to help people be set free. This is sign me up. Sign me up. If it's to be.
I try and talk to 5 people every day.
Beautiful.
That's my goal. 5 people every day I got to talk to.
Yeah. And if those 5 people tell 5 people and those people tell 5, you know what we have? We have a movement. We have a
Right.
movement. And once you see it, I like to say you can seize it. And to the degree in which it is that you believe, you will succeed. If you're kind of a 50%er believer, you're going to be a 50%er achiever. And so sometimes it goes parallel. And I know this is kind of a conversation we're having, just having some raw and real conversations, but it goes parallel to everything. So what you think about, you bring about. If you're in it to win it, you will. And I say, get rid of the waste, haul the waste out. This is the waste loss program that is going to help you. And if you don't pull the waste out, it will waste you away. The waste
Absolutely.
is in the way of your victory. And I love the fact that you can win and never give up. And I love the fact that it's all of us. We're in this together. And
Yes.
when we are here to go and share a hidden treasure here before the beginning of our time being here, it's like we are blessed and highly favored. And
Yeah.
I want to say this, Elle, thank you for being on this call. I know that the call is over. We try to be as timely as we can with a 30-minute call, and I really appreciate you being on this call as you're on your tractor right now, sharing the story fresh from the field as you're making hay, as they say. Make hay while the sun shines. Yeah. So thanks
Yeah,
again. Go ahead.
Maybe next time we'll get Daryl and get him on here because he's a very moving person for his age and what he's gone through too. So
Absolutely. The two of you would do a duo show, like amazing. So thank you
Yeah.
very much. Good
yeah,
night.
God bless everyone.
Yes, and be blessed as well. All right. Well, I'm going to say this. I think that we've said it already tonight. We are in the perfect place at the perfect time, and we have the perfect product to close the gaps and bridge the gap furthermore. And when it is that you're out there wondering what you can do, I say no more wandering and start having just the gratitude for the fact that it is for you to win everything in life. And your body is the masterpiece given the privilege to win. Thank you. And shalom. Good night. We'll be back on Thursday. And if you want to take a look at studies, you can go to mushroomstudies.co and petsystemguide.com. Bless you.
That was amazing. Thank you, Lidy.
Thanks, Lidy.
You're very welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you. That was
energy.
awesome.
Thank you, Al. Thanks for sharing.
That was incredible, Lidy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's a delight. You make a difference. And that's what is the best part of the story.
Miraculous, Lidy.
Yes, thank you. Hey, Tyrone. All right. Shalom all.